Hi everyone, I'm back with another video, and in today's video we're gonna be up against Drakon and Macer, so on. Okay, so I'm gonna be with Sobol, and the map will be Water Barrier. As you guys can see right here, an epic scene will be unfolded right in front of you. Now, of course, before we start, go on ahead, smash the like button so that the video will be recommended to other players of the game as well as non-gamers of AOW3. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification to all notifications so that you will not miss an upload or stream from my channel. Let's begin. And Dracon's partner was Master, apparently. Okay, so I'm going to be the green player located at the bottom right hand corner, and my partner Sobol will be the blue player located at the top right hand corner. Okay, now of course deltas. Now at the very start right here, we had a very bad start since of course those containers were collected by Caimans. And of course, if that were to happen, we will be at a very big disadvantage due to few box or containers collected. Now, I ought to do some damage right here and do some tricks that most people tend to somehow misinterpret. Okay, I'm going to attack with initial units, namely the deltas right here, causing some damage, and of course, those resources that was collected will be spent on those naval platforms, as you guys can see, and also Caimans that will be destroyed, and I'm only going to invest on my delta, just of course, I can deal some damage, deal pressure, and at the same time develop my base. Okay, now I'm using a naval strike boost for the purpose of having more range of view. And I saw that there's like a naval platform around there, and look at the range, that's insane. Okay, so yeah. Now I lost some deltas right there, but of course, given the right micro, I can still keep this up. Now I have 4 supply centers. I will be adding a torpedo platform first before I get a 5th one. That is mainly because the red player may attack me with alligators from that side, so I don't want that to happen. And still, I'm just going to cause some damage and hang my deltas around here. Okay, and just stand by here, hang around, man, chill. Okay, now again, I'm no longer going to increase the size of my delta or the numbers of my delta, mainly because the resources that I'm gathering or that I'm saving up will be put into base development. And as you guys can see, my early investment is clearly paying off. I'm destroying supply centers, barracks, platforms, shipyards, Caimans, riflemen, and right now I'm going HQ level 3, as you guys can see, and the yellow player still has HQ level 2. Now, given the fact that they collected a lot of containers, does not mean really that they have the advantage over you. Now let's take a look at what my partner is doing. And as you guys can see, he is still trying to do some damage here with the delta, destroy a power plant, riflemen, and force the red player to build sniper towers. And oh wow, it's actually destroying a supply center. Very, very good. Okay, and as you guys can see right here, I destroyed a bunch of administrative buildings, namely power plants, supply centers, and so on. Okay, and force the red player to help out, and force the yellow player to produce a ton of riflemen. And of course, build a gun tower. Okay, now we see here a fortress from my partner. Here is his base. Okay, not really bad. And meanwhile, I have 7 supply centers and 2 shipyards pumping out those Vikings while I'm attacking the yellow player. And keep in mind, the yellow player has just begun upgrading his HQ to level 3. Okay, so the lesson here is that, even if you got less containers, you need to do something to make up for it, Okay, there it goes. I'm using a naval production boost to, of course, pump those Vikings faster due to the loss of time that I was not being able to produce them. And here goes my partner, still trying to rain rampage with those deltas and are attacking those riflemen. And this includes the red player spending a lot for those riflemen to just get rid of those delta. Keep in mind that he has a fortress around here, and those alligators from the red player are going to block the entrance right there, blocking the reinforcement from my partner's attack. completely because of the range of those alligators. And now my partner will just have to move, and there's like a crazy ton of riflemen right there. Thankfully, my partner has fortress right here so that of course he can destroy them. Now those typhoons are also gonna get destroyed by those alligators, so this is a very intense start of the match right from the get-go. Okay, oh wow, just look at that base. He managed to somehow force the red player to spam defensive buildings like sniper towers, gun towers, and spam riflemen. Same thing to the enemy that I'm facing, the yellow player. Okay, so what we did is to somehow distract the enemy by putting pressure, and of course for us to catch up and have the enemy spend resources on unnecessary things that they will no longer, or they will not get any value as the game progresses. Now the riflemen of the yellow player at least was used for scouting to of course know what I have. Okay. Now that's actually a very good use of riflemen right there. Okay, so you need to make use of them. Now meanwhile, I'm adding a naval platform just to safeguard my base against any pending attack in case I lost a naval warfare. Okay, going to produce a fortress around there to get rid of those infantry, and I'll also be using that fortress to scout. Meanwhile, I'm upgrading my shipyard to level 3, so I will have Poseidons because of course, you know, in this map, this is quite huge and Hawks are very playable. And as we all know, Vikings doesn't have anti-air, and with the help of a Poseidon can clearly help them out just a little bit. Okay, scout onto the yellow player's base. 3 shipyards, only level, or 2 level 2 shipyards can pump out alligators with an HQ level 3. And at this point, I almost have a full command point. And yes, I'm just going to save, resources for me to go HQ level 4. Now my partner is fortifying his base on the ground. And just look at that massive line of Vikings around there. And we got a few skirmish around there with those alligators. And my partner are now also producing those Vikings, although a bit late due to the overcommitment of those deltas, but still very good damage was dealt. Now I'm going to push one Viking forward. It's actually an overextension. It should just be 1 cell away just for my Poseidon to fire, so that's very bad. For the time being, I'm engaging 2 players right here, 2 alligators from the red and the rest of the alligators from the yellow player, and we see an epic clash of navy of Vikings versus alligators. Okay, my partners, tried to help me out. Of course, that was very appreciated. And here goes. Now, due to the fact that I have mispositioned my Viking just 1 cell apart from the rest, I actually lost this, or almost lost this, and lost a ton of Viking. So that was not really as planned, but still, that was a good engagement. There goes. An epic scene right there, right from the get-go. Okay, and now I'm going to use the Poseidons to of course lay waste to those torpedo platforms from afar. And of course, I'll also be adding another naval platform and another shipyard so that of course I can pump out more naval army or more Vikings and Poseidons more, or actually faster. Here goes those Hawks. As I have mentioned, I'm already expecting those. Though keep in mind guys that my Poseidon is not maxed out in terms of the anti-air department, okay? I still have yet to max those out, but it has, some upgrades to it. Okay, here goes the Poseidons trying to be annoying as to destroy that naval platform. And 1 platform is down. I'm gonna have to fast forward a bit as this will take a bit of time. Now those Hawks are going to somehow destroy my Poseidon. They have maxed out HP and armor for rank 21 and maxed out launcher and of course those missiles. And 1 Hawk is out for the count. And now 2 platforms is down for the count, and I'm just going to somehow attack the yellow player. However, while the yellow player is, while I'm destroying the yellow player's platform, the yellow player is amassing those alligators where I failed to do. Hence, he will have more alligators than my Vikings, and of course, based from what you can see, I will be losing this naval engagement due to the lack of Vikings that I have, so that's pretty much my fault. And so, given this scenario, I'm just going to sacrifice one Poseidon and have it move forward so that the rest can retreat and manage to see or live to see another day. Okay, so yeah, you need to be smart in managing your units as well, because if you somehow left one Poseidon there, those alligators will not be moving towards your other units or naval units. Now, scouting the fortress, saw HQ level 4 with 8 supply centers, 3 shipyards. I'm guessing those shipyards are pumping out alligators as well. Same thing like I'm doing. My partner has level 4 HQ, pretty much the same thing as I am, but has a level 3 vehicle factory and level 2 special vehicle factory. Now again, I'm going to have to form that line yet again, so that of course, I can defend easily on the naval side. Meanwhile, I'm going to put a scout right here as my partner reminded me of, which is very nice. And I'm also going to add vertex into the mix or avia just a little bit so that I can go and scout. Because of course, no intel on the enemy's base, you are pretty much guessing what you are going to do. And that's a bad thing. Okay? We see my partner here laying siege onto the red player's base. However, the evident lack of Viking is clearly visualized here. Okay, now he will be suffering a lot of losses right there, although he will not be losing a lot of units. But as you guys can see, some of the yellow players, Vikings or alligators are also here and are laying waste to those Poseidons from my partner. Oh man, just the lack of Vikings. Okay, he will now be retreating. Now here is a perfect example of what I said earlier. Leave one unit behind so that the rest of the alligators will no longer follow the rest of your retreating units. Okay. He just decided to retreat. Okay, that's not a good example. Oh man, whatever, Tracie. Okay, knowing that there are hawks, I will be adding more anti-air into the mix so that of course I can defend myself against any AVS shenanigans. Woohoo! Level 5 HQ as well, and ooh, see what I'm talking about? Without that Vertex Scout, I would have been shredded by those Jaguar Chameleon Porcupine from the yellow. Knowing that, I will be adding 2 AVF Factory, and of course, produce Cyclone and Rocket Towers around there. Okay, there was like a Hawk Scout right there. Very good scout from the red. Now, given the fact that the yellow player has a lot of alligators, he will have less on the ground, so meaning that the Jaguar Chameleon Porcupine will not be composed of so many units due to the fact that the alligators are also consuming command points. Okay, and I'll have 3 rocket towers here just in case to, it's better safe than sorry when it comes to defending. That scout really paid off, informed me of a pending attack, and I'm pretty much almost ready here, and I'll just have to put up a bunker to sponge up the damage from the initial Jaguars. Now I positioned my Poseidons here at the very, like the closest to the shore, and used a naval strike boost, and I'm going to predict where the Chameleon is headed in order for me to force fire before the Chameleon gets there. So it will take damage, as you guys can clearly see here in this video. I can even destroy that Chameleon before the army arrives on my base, and it contains 4 Jaguars and 3 Porcupines. Is that 3? Yeah, 3 Porcupines. And now of course, my rocket towers and cyclones will no longer have a hard time dealing with those since there's only a handful out there. Excuse me. Okay, now I really did not lose anything expensive here aside from some cyclones, but of course the enemy lost a ton of units that are expensive, namely Jaguars and Chameleons. Scout onto the red player's base. Okay, very useful scout right there. If I had not made a vertex here, we would have been toast with the fact that we don't know what we're playing against. So intel is the very best. Oh wow, look at that positioning from my partner. Oh my gosh, and look at that space system already, and I was entirely shocked with this development of his. He already has a space system. and was actually one step ahead of me. So that's actually very good development right there. I was planning to go for a space system or even tell him to, but he already has one. Okay, and now of course onto the, or scouting onto the red player's base, which I already saw that there was a nuclear. Okay, now I was initially planning to attack the red player in the hopes of destroying the nuclear. But of course the yellow player again distracted me with this chameleon scout right here and are going to destroy those jaguars and destroy the chameleon with just 3 Poseidons. Now the Poseidon's damage, if it was a direct hit, it's messy. Okay, and as you guys can see, it cleared up those jaguars pretty easily. Oh, and I have like a ton of resources banked up right here, and my partner will now launch a space strike onto the red player's base, and before the nuclear finishes or launches actually. Okay, here goes. Boom! Good damage right there, although I doubt that space system is maxed out because my space system can deal more damage and has lesser of a countdown. Although, you know, the damage might be maxed out, we never know. Okay, I'm also building my own space system around here, and I have a bunch of cyclones here, and I have full command points set on my units. Okay, I have 144 command points and are now going to somehow deal against that chameleon because probably my space system is just a ploy. It's just, you know, it's just a fake, but I can still use it if in case. And now my partner told me to scout the yellow player, see what he was doing. Yellow player saw my space system being built, tried to fire on it, and let's see now. A nuclear launcher as well from the yellow player. And my vertex lived to see another day, hence it can still scout. Okay, now here goes the naval engagement right there. Feast your eyes on this, the unbreakable barrier, unbreakable line of Vikings right there. Oh man, just look at those torpedoes and salvos clashing and exchanging from both the alligators and the Vikings around there. Oh man. This is where I get the title from, man, the unbreakable barrier. Okay, so yes, you will not pass. Okay. And yes, pretty much I won that exchange because there's like a native rule on naval warfare in Art of War 3, whereas the first one to attack a defensive formation loses. Okay, so that's the bottom line there. Okay, given that both sides has equal numbers of alligators and Vikings, whichever attacks first loses versus a good defensive line. Okay, and here goes. Now my cyclones aren't really that good in number, but of course it's good enough to just destroy that nuclear launcher defended by 4 anti-air. Okay. Just like that, I'm going to cancel that nuclear and destroy it, erasing it out of existence, and my cyclone will simply retreat right after being annoying. And now of course, in the hopes of counterattacking the yellow player, I have a ton of Vikings here, but I was just lazy to somehow put them into good formation. Okay, and again, my partner will now go strike the yellow player's the yellow player's shore or coastline here. Oh man, my Viking is just, you know, caught an alligator right there. Scout onto the red player's base. Saw that there's like a defensive line of jaguars and a chameleon right there. And here goes the damage. Bam! Not really that much, okay. But still, damage has been done. And one of my Viking decided to overextend. And there's like a nuclear right there. Oh, okay. And now that we see the animation, the nuclear is launching. Where is it now? Where is it going to? Okay, now let's see where it will drop. Okay, here it goes. And oh my gosh. And bam! absolutely nothing has been destroyed but severely damaging those naval platforms. Meanwhile, I'm going to launch an attack here on the yellow player, while some of the Vikings or some of the alligators are damaged or badly bruised up. But my alligators were in a bad position because I was lazy to get them into one. Okay, now the red player, right after launching the nuclear, will now launch an attack onto my partner's base while those torpedo platforms are weakened. However, they had already been repaired, as you guys can see right here, and some of the units are still here, and man, I could say that's a bad engagement. Okay, and here goes. Of course, I will be outnumbered since most of my Vikings were out of position. Oh, and the MVP Cyclones took out that nuclear. Oh, okay, so my Cyclones took out the nuclear instead of my Vertex. Man, a round of applause for those helicopters, man, saving the day. Now, by the way, I'm using a naval attack boost here to increase the speed of my Poseidon so that of course they have a higher chance of surviving. And here goes, I will be the one to launch the space strike now, and I'm going to attack the red player, and my partner told me that he will be attacking the yellow player. And now I'm headed straight towards the red player's HQ, where those buildings, juicy buildings, are clumped up. And here goes. Let's see. Bam! Oh man! Base erased. Okay, again, another space strike is now being produced. Oh man, I just love this. And again, it's my partner's turn to go ahead and smash the yellow player's army or base into smithereens. And here goes. Bam! Very good damage. Okay, although not really that good, but still, something is better than nothing, and reducing those shipyard number to just 1 is very good. Meanwhile, I'm going to produce those Vikings while producing a space system, and the yellow player is now launching an attack over to my partner's base or the coastline. Let's see how he will fare. Some of the Vikings and the Poseidons are here. Hawks are now trying to get rid of my space system. I'm going to have to cancel that space strike because I only have 1 anti-air to cover it. So that's my fault. And here goes. My partner is somehow winning this exchange versus that many alligator. I decided to help, but realized that my partner did not really need help. So I'm just going to turn tail and go back to my base. Meanwhile, my partner is launching an attack onto the ground with just a few Zeus and a torrent. Oh man, just look at this. Those naval platforms are completely smashing those alligators. And yeah, pretty much that's gonna be that. And at this point forward, the yellow and the red accepted their fate and are now destroying their building. Of course, this shows a sign of giving up. And that will be all for today, folks. If you liked the video, go on ahead, smash the like button so that the video will be recommended. And of course, leave a comment down below as to what are your thoughts into this video. And don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification to all notifications so that you will not miss an upload or stream from my channel. And of course, don't forget to check my previous videos as well. Bye now!
Victory.